what are you doing today?
Oh, yeah, I'm doing a physics problem for my exam.
That seems really awful. And what it's about, or can you explain me so maybe I can help you?
It says that you work in a FX company, and the movie company asks you to create a stunt of one of its recent productions. The requirements are as follows.
You work in an FX company, and the movie company asks you to create a stunt for one of its recent productions. The requirements are as follows. 1. In the not-so-distant future, a Mars detective is in pursuit of a suspect. The gravitational acceleration is gravity of Mars equals minus 3.7 meters per second squared. The suspect climbs a building and runs on the roof. The detective starts the pursuit on the roof from rest and covers the distance of the roof in 6 seconds. The detective has an acceleration of 1.5 meters per second squared. A. What is the final speed of the detective on the roof? B. What is the distance covered by the detective on the roof?
For the first exercise, we have to find V, the final velocity of the detective in the roof. What is V equals to the initial velocity plus acceleration times time. We substitute the values of initial velocity equals to 0 for 1.5. That is the acceleration that the problem gives us. That acceleration multiplied by the time. That will be 6 seconds. Finally, our result is 9 meters per second. For this one, we need x. That is the distance the detective walked. The formula that we will use is x is equal to initial position plus initial velocity by time plus acceleration by time squared over 2. We substitute and we get x is equal to 0 plus 0 times 6 plus 1.5 times 6 to the power of 2 by 2. The first part gets cancelled because it's 0. By 6 is equal to 0. So you only need to rest. 1.5 by 6 squared over 2 is equal to 27 meters.
Two. Then, the suspect notices that there is another building to which the suspect can jump, but the buildings are separated by a street. So the suspect decides to jump to the other building that is 5 meters shorter than the one from where the pursuit began. And the detective also jumps. Remember, the detective and the suspect were initially moving horizontally. A. How long will the detective be on the air to reach the other roof? B. How far apart can the buildings be so the detective can reach the other roof? C. What is the final velocity when the detective lands on the roof?
Now for 2A. Well, other recommendation here is that you put first the list of all elements to have it clear. But in this exercise, we need to find the time. We could find other variable and from that find the time, but it's easier this way. With quadratic equation ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0, we arrange the formula y equals to yo plus y plus g times square over 2 for the quadratic equation to be another given that t is x. It will be like gt squared over 2 plus void t plus yo minus y. We substitute that what we have to obtain what we need with the formula minus b plus minus square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2. In the plus part, you choose the minus because gravity, or A, it's negative. And negative divided by negative is positive. So after all this operation, the result is 1.644 seconds.
We need x. The formula we use is x equal xo plus boxt. And xo is 0, vox is 9, what is given in the first question, and t of time is 1.644, what we got in A. We solve it and the result is 14.796 meters. To obtain the result of the final velocity, we need the formula v equals square root vx2 plus vy2, comma, vx is the same that vox, and we know that vox is 9 meters per second, but we don't have vy, so we need the formula vy equal voy plus gt. We substitute it and it would be vy equals 0 plus negative 3.7, 1.644, and the result is negative 6.82. Now we know Vy, and we get back into the formula. Vy equals square root and Vx2 plus Vy2. Substitute the values. V equals square root 9, 2 plus minus 6.82, and the final velocity is 10.862 meters per second. Now we need to find the angle. We need the formula tan negative Vy and Vx. We substitute tan negative and we get negative 6.82/9, and the final result is equal to a quantity of minus 34.54 degrees.
3. After landing on the roof of the second building, the suspect notices that on the side of the building there is a garbage container at ground level. He walks to the edge and decides to let himself fall to the ground in free fall, landing in a garbage container to dampen the fall, and the detective follows. If the detective has a mass of 75 kilograms and it took the detective 3.5 seconds to land, A. How high is the second building? B. What is the speed of the detective just before landing on the garbage container? A. In the last problem, we will need to obtain first the height of the second building. We need the formula y equals yo plus boy plus gt squared by 2. We substitute the values. Y equals 0 plus 0 by 3.5 plus minus 3.7 by 3.5 squared by 2. This also happens in the B of the first question. The zeros are cancelled and everything else stays the same. The result is 22.66 meters. B. In the last one, we needed to know what is the velocity of the detective before he lands in the garbage. We put the formula B equals BO plus GT. We need to remember that is mass gravity. We substitute and we'll get B equals 0 plus minus 3.7 by 3.5. The result is minus 12.95 meters per second.